Only the living can deal with this law. All right. We're going to pick it up at verse 1. Exodus 20 and verse 1.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Okay, so let's go to Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived other than Jesus, and let's see what he has to say about these commandments. I'm still kind of echoing. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and pick it up at verse 13. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let's see what Solomon has to say about these laws that the Lord said for us to keep.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Right, so let's see if we don't keep these commandments, what kind of consequences is there waiting for the ones who keep it and the ones who don't keep it. Let's see what type of consequence the Lord have waiting for us. So let's go to Revelation chapter 22 and pick it up at the 14th.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Right, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So there's great reward in keeping the law. So I want to say good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Good afternoon, brother.
And for the brothers and sisters that's joining us via Facebook, I want to say good afternoon to you. And today's lesson is called The Last Three Major Battles, and the U.S. Leads None. The last three major battles, and the U.S. leads none. Today, this lesson is a very meaty lesson, so if I go too fast, please forgive me, because we got a lot of material to cover. And without further ado, we will look into the future of the three major wars, three major world wars, and the U.S. is not taking the lead on none of these wars. Instead, they are only playing a support role to the Western Europe, or some might support Eastern Europe. The first major battle we will be looking at is between Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Every country east of the Euphrates River and every country west of the Euphrates River. They will meet in a place called the Valley of Jehoshaphat to fight. And the U.S. will not lead the charge. These wars are between the two European nations, East and West. So the U.S. is a nation that built out of these two European countries, even Africa. So at the time appointed, everyone will return back to their homeland where they came from. Even the doomsday bunkers, the doomsday preppers that build these bunkers to save themselves from this World War III, that probably will be just a burial ground for them. That will be a burial chamber for them, because they will not escape out of that either. And that is no protection for them. So this war we're talking about is the Great Tribulation, and it will last for 3.5 years. And when this war is over is when Jesus' feet hit the Mount of Olives. And the only one will be saved is the very elect. And the only time Jesus' feet will hit the Mount of Olives is the seventh trumpet. The second battle will be fought against Russia and her allies in the mountain of Israel. This will be between the Lord and Russia when Israel is safely back in the land. The third major war, since Russia is so hard-headed and won't listen, they make another attempt. This is before the 1,000 years is end. And we'll see how they ended up, because they are part of the first war, part of the second war, and they are part of the third war. So we will break these down and we'll try to put it in chronologically event. I cannot give you the date, the time, or the year that this will take place, because I do not know. So we'll start out this lesson in Matthew 24. Matthew 24, and we're going to pick this up at verse 3. Matthew 24 and 3. Matthew 24 and verse 3. The lesson is the last three major battles, and the U.S. leads none. Regardless of their saber-rattling, they are not in prophecy. Go ahead and pick it up at verse 3.
And as he sat upon a Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of our coming and of the end of the world?
So they they ask a legitimate question. They want to know what are the signs of the end of the world. What are the events that's going to take place? And that's what we're going to look at. What are the events that's going to take place? I know everybody is excited because we chose a new pope and he's from Chicago. So we will look at some stuff pertaining to him. Go ahead and pick it up at verse 4.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
So that's the first thing Jesus said. Take heed that no man deceive you. Which man can deceive you? Somebody who is standing where I am standing. They are the one that the Lord is talking about that will deceive you. Verse 5.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And shall deceive many. Go ahead.
And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right. All these saber rattling that you hear these countries doing, that they're gonna start a war, Russia fighting with Ukraine. But if you really notice, Russia has not killed as much civilian as the Israeli kill civilians in the Gaza Strip, because these are the same people. So Russia is not trying to destroy their own. Go ahead.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places.
In diverse places. And don't get alarmed when you see this thing that coming to fruition. Don't get excited, don't get alarmed, because the end is not yet. Even when you hear there's an earthquake that hit 9 on the Richter scale? Hey, still ain't the end yet. Verse 8, go ahead.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
It's just the beginning of sorrow. Drop down to verse 15 and go ahead.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right, so that's when you get excited. That's who you're looking for. He's one of the major players. Not the U.S. with their saber rattling of starting new wars. No. What they're doing is, the book call it sorrow. So, it also says, when you see this man standing in the holy place, where's the holy place? Jerusalem. Whosoever read it, let him understand. If you read it and don't understand, hey, you know what you got coming to you. You know what you're gonna face if you don't understand what you're reading. So it's best to get the understanding right now. Verse 16, go ahead.
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
So that's the fleeing time when you see him stand up in the holy place. Where is that holy place? That's in Jerusalem. So even if you hear that, oh man, they're building the temple, it's not necessarily that temple that he's gonna stand in. Because now remember, you got some zealous people and they want prophecies to fulfill. But this man know exactly which temple he's supposed to stand in. So until he make a move, then we ain't got nothing to worry about. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Right, it's so urgent. You got to run. You got to get out of there. 18.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck on those days.
Why? Go ahead.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Right, because back then on the Sabbath day, everything shut down. Because remember, back then they keep the Sabbath. So he said, make sure it is not on the Sabbath day. Because then your journey will be a lot more challenging or in the winter. Let's go now to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. So let's look at who else addressed the end of time other than Jesus. So other than that one to read in Matthew, let's see who else gonna give us a warning. Because I know Matthew sent us to Daniel, but before we go there, we're gonna look at what Paul say about this same event. So Paul gonna warn us about the abomination of desolation. Churches like to quote Paul's writing, but they avoid reading this. Let's pick this up at 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. 2 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. All right, go ahead, my brother.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand.
Right, so don't be troubled. Even Paul telling you the same thing. Unless what? Go ahead.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come. Except what? Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Right,
so the man of sin, who is the son of perdition, has to be revealed first. That's what we read in Matthew, that he's got to stand in the holy place. That's the only way he's going to reveal himself. And the book later on will tell you that the Pope that we're looking for got to have a fierce countenance. I mean, this guy looked, pretty harmless, but you got to look at his policy, what he stands for, before you can make an assumption where he's going. So, as much as we want to point finger at this guy, the book tells us certain characteristics that we must look for. So these things must happen before Jesus can return. Go ahead. Verse 4.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
So, key word, he's going to sit in the temple as God, showing himself as God. Because on his crown is marked Vicarius Filii, which is 666, meaning the replacement of Christ. So this guy is definitely trying to replace Christ. Drop down to verse 8 and go ahead.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Then shall that wicked be revealed. Only that time the wicked will reveal. You know this guy's intention. Read.
Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
And we're going to show you that the Lord is going to consume him with the spirit of his mouth. Read.
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
So the mystery of iniquity start in Rome, in the Roman Empire, when Romanus Augustus died. The next emperor rose up, but not by himself. He rose up with a Pope of Rome, and he has what you call a political leader, a secular leader. So after Romulus Augustus, these two came to be. And ever since that happened, we continue to see these two play a role in world leadership. Verse 9, go ahead.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
So he's going to work all these witchcraft, all these power, signs, and lying wonders. It said lying wonders. It's an illusion to fool you. Give you a 6 for a 9. So you can be part of his movement. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go look at Daniel. We'll pick this up at Daniel, the 2nd chapter. No, Daniel chapter 8. And what we're doing is looking at Daniel's 2nd vision. So Daniel chapter 8. And what we're looking at is Daniel's 2nd vision. We're going to pick this up at Daniel 8 and 1. Daniel 8 and 1. So we're still echoing, Marcus. So we're looking at Daniel's 2nd vision. Go ahead and read.
In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first.
At the first. So we're looking at the second. We look at the first vision is in chapter 7. So we're reading chapter 8. We're looking at the 2nd vision. Go ahead.
And I saw in a vision. And it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last.
And the higher came up last. So this was the Mede and the Persian Empire. And the smaller horn was the Medes, which is the Russian. So we see in Daniel, they call the Russian the Medes. Then the higher horn was the Persian, because the Persian did rule the world, which we know as Iran. Because they became king over the whole world at that time. So Iranians are not Arabs, but they are Gentile who adapt Islam as their religion. Let's drop down to verse 5 and go ahead.
And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Right, so this he-goat with the 1 horn was Alexander the Great and his 4 generals. So this put Greece in charge of the whole world at this time. Verse 8, go ahead.
Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
Right, so the great horn was Alexander, who only lived for a short time and died about age 30. Verse 9.
And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great,
Go ahead.
even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
Right. So we know who this is talking about. So after the death of Alexander, his general took over the empire, which was the four horns. Cassander controlled Macedonia, Licinius controlled Thrace, and we're going to show you a map of Thrace. So we are interested in Lysimachus because that's where this little one came out of. And out of that region came Papa, who magnified himself. Bartholomew controls Egypt, and out of him came Cleopatra, who was a Greek. Seleucid controls Syria. We are not focusing on him, we're more focusing on the thoracic region. So bring up display one. We want to show you where the little horn came from. Okay, no, not that one. That will come up next. Show me the map. Okay, there it is. So as you can see, this is Thrace region, and this is Italy, which the little horn came out of. So that's what they're talking about. And you know, sometimes you hear the Pope say Italia, so that's another name for, you know, how they call Italy. So let's pick this up back at verse 11. So the little one going to come from that region. And Lysimachus control that area. All right, go ahead, my brother, pick up verse 11.
Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
And by him, this daily sacrifice was taken away. So he's going to stop this daily sacrifice.
And the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
Go ahead.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground.
So this host he's talking about, this is a military host. Go ahead.
And it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice?
Okay.
And the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days. Then shall this
2,300 days. I think did you read a little further? Where we at?
14 now.
Okay, 14. Okay, so we should skip from 12 to 15. Okay, that's why. Okay, pick it up at verse 15.
And it came to pass, when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Uli, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
Right, so Daniel was perplexed over this vision because, you know, he wants to know what the interpretation of this vision. So Gabriel came to help him to understand this vision. Because remember, Satan has had Gabriel hemmed up for 3 weeks. Go ahead.
So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face.
Right, so, when he saw the spirit, he didn't kick and gyrate. He fell upon his face. Go ahead.
But he said unto me, Understand, O Son of Man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision.
So let's skip down to verse 19 and go ahead.
And he said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be.
At the time appointed the end shall be. So the end cannot be unless it is appointed. And it must meet that appointed time. Verse 20.
The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation.
Right, so what he's explaining to you is that the king of Greece, which is Alexander, died, and his 4 generals took over the kingdom, because Alexander didn't have any son, didn't have any one to pass the kingdom on to. And we just show you earlier on that his 4 generals, and we're looking at Lysimachus, who controlled Thorax, where the little horn came from. Go ahead.
But not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
So we are looking for a king with fierce countenance. So this Pope that we're looking at, we got to make sure that he has fierce countenance. We know he understands dark sentences because they all go through that theologian school and they learn about the Bible. So our job is to look for this papacy with fierce countenance. Go ahead, pick it up at verse 24.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power.
Right, it shall be mighty, but not by his own power. Who's going to give him the power? Go ahead.
And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
So he's going to destroy some holy people. So Satan will give the man of sin and his great authority to accomplish his desire among the people. He will crush anyone or any country that tries to oppose him. Verse 25.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Right, so he's going to set some policy into place. Just like how they set these policies for every one of us to take the vaccine. They're going to set up some policy for us too to take the mark. So it goes hand in hand. So that's why it's important. You got to pay attention to prophecy. Go ahead.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
He shall destroy many. Where are we, 25?
Yes, middle of 25.
By peace he shall destroy many. Go ahead, finish that up.
He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
Right, so he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, This is witchcraft, to make fire come from heaven and also make a statue walk and talk. A real statue now, an inanimate object, he's going to make walk and talk, because he's going to wield the power of God at that point in time. Jesus is the prince of princes, and he will destroy Babylon the Great. The 10 without hands, but metaphorically speaking, with a stone he's going to use to hit the toes of that statue that represent the Western European Union and their military. So the 10 is going to be the administrator that leads the 31 countries. So Daniel chapter 2 and 28. Now at this time Nebuchadnezzar had a dream, and he wanted to understand this dream. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2 and pick up at verse 28. So he could not understand this dream, so he sent for Daniel, and he told him the dream. Let's skip back to chapter 2, and we're going to pick this up at verse 28. We're going to read 28 and then 31. For those who are taking notes. All right. 2 and 28. Go ahead.
But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets.
So that's what Daniel is letting him know. There's a God that's in heaven that reveals secrets. Because that's what he said. He will reveal his secrets to his prophet. Go ahead.
And make it known to the king Nebuchadnezzar, which shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these.
Right. So the Lord was revealing to Daniel in his time the things that will come to pass in our time. So Daniel knew what's going to happen in our days. The Lord called the 4 kingdoms in order in the time of Daniel: Babylon, Medo-Persian, Greece, and Rome, a family of Gentiles that are not blood related. Let's pick this up at verse 31. Go ahead.
Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and in the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
Right, so this stone represents Jesus, and the toes, the 10 toes, represent the European Union common market. These 10 going to be the administration for the 31 armies that they're going to use to fight Eastern Europe. Go ahead.
Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away.
Go
that
ahead.
No place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
So what he's telling you, that after Jesus take down the Gentile dynasty, he's going to run this earth. And you notice that I mentioned America. So we're dealing with Medo-Persian, we're dealing with Rome. Two major players. Even Iran, verse 36.
This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom.
Right, he has given you a kingdom. Go read.
Power and strength and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given to thine hand.
Right. Go ahead.
And hath made thee ruler over them all.
So he's ruler over the entire earth. So that's what the Gentile dynasty is. Rulership passed down from one nation to the other. Go ahead.
Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things.
Right, go ahead.
And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Right. So they're gonna agree. These 10 nations are 10 countries. They're gonna disagree on some things, but eventually they're gonna come underneath one rulership. So that's why they formed the European Common Market, to where they remove tariff from each other, so they have more buying power. Go ahead.
42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly
weak.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Right, just like you can't mix oil with water. So, like I said, they're going to have some disagreements, but at some point, they're going to come underneath one umbrella. So, the 10 toes represent the 10 permanent countries that will lead the European Common Market and will support the revival of the Roman Empire. Verse 44, go ahead.
And in the days of these kings,
in the days of these kings, which we are living right now, in the days of these kings, what's going to happen?
Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Right.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Right. So in the days of these kings, we are living in the days of these kings, and we are looking at the 10-nation alliance, and you notice that they are more united. Since we have this novelty of a president, they are united more, ever so strong. Because since he doesn't understand prophecy, he is causing prophecy to fulfill. And this is why the Lord can't come anytime, for these things must come to pass. You hear people tell you all the time, God can't come anytime. No, there's just too much things need to be fulfilled before the Lord comes. That's why in Matthew, Jesus said, read the book of Daniel, whosoever read it, let him understand. If you don't understand, hey, you're going to face the drama. And you can't take that one to your mama. Go ahead, verse 45.
For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
So Babylon came and gone. Medo Persian came and gone. Greece came and gone. Rome as a power came and gone. But they rule the world with religion. Spiritually, they rule the world. And will rise again as an empire. And this is sure. That's what the Lord is saying. For in the days of these kings will the God of heaven establish his kingdom, and he shall break in pieces the Gentile dynasty that represent that stature. The U.S., with all its military assets and prowess, about time pronounce that word, will not, I could just say power, will not lead any major battle, and she will not be a part of this dream. America is a duplicate of Rome. If you look even in Washington, D.C., it's a duplicate of Rome. So now, let's go to Revelation 17. Revelation 17. Like I said, brothers and sisters, we have a lot of scriptures to cover. So forgive me if I go a little fast. So Revelation 17, and we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Let's see. Let me get there. 17. Revelation 17. Okay, Revelation 17. Okay. All right. So we're looking at this woman with the scarlet color beast. Go ahead.
And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Right, the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters. So, the waters represent people. And what the book is saying that she is proselytizing these people through religion. So the great whore is the Catholic Church and the little horn that rules over the people with religion. Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Right. So the head of all the countries come and bow their heads to him and kiss his ring. And the wine that they drank is false doctrine. Verse 3.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So you notice this woman having 7 heads. Remember, there was seven world leaders of the Gentile dynasty, Rome being the last one. And we will see also that Rome, the final dynasty, built the Vatican on 7 hills. Why couldn't they build it on 7 hills? Because it's got to fulfill that prophecy. 7 hills. So the woman that sat upon the scarlet beast that is the religious leader, the little horn, he will have a political leader called the beast, and he will carry out his political agenda. And out of the mother church came all the religion that blaspheme against God. Let's pick it up at verse 4.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, so this woman is bling bling. She bling out. So the woman is dressed also in these colors that the Lord chose for his church. That's why you see this like scarlet color, purple. So these colors come from the temple. So you see that the false prophet replicate the same color. Verse 5, go ahead.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Right, so the mother of harlots is the religion that birthed the Protestant, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witness, Methodists, and Baptists, etc. The head of the Catholic Church is supported by a secular leader to carry out the political affairs of the church. Verse 6, go ahead.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
He wondered with great admiration. Go ahead.
And the angel said unto me, Wherefore dost thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
Out of the bottomless pit. See, Nebuchadnezzar empire came and gone. Medo-Persian Empire came and gone. Greek Empire came and gone. Roman Empire came and gone. But again, the religious side of Rome is still in effect. Because look at the class, how it's empty. They're going to be packed tomorrow in that Sunday church, hearing that Roman doctrine, and think that they have holiness going on. So, let's see. But yes, so it will support the resurrection of Babylon the Great. And the world at large is unaware of this secret undertaking agenda. This represents the bottomless pit. These men, a religious ruler and a secular ruler, will carry out the sinful act. So what they're doing is planning and strategizing their attack to Eastern Europe, and not only that, this Vatican wants to rule this world. He wants to be known as God. So everything they're doing, they're operating in secrecy. So that secrecy represents that bottomless pit. That is why we can't see it. Go ahead.
Middle of verse 8. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder.
Pick it up at and go into perdition. I think that's where you start.
And go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
Right. So we just show you that. You see, Babylon rise, he fall. Then you have Medo-Persian, rise and fall. The Greek, rise and fall. The Roman, as a powerhouse, rise and fall, but they're going to rise again because they're supposed to rise and fall 10 times. Verse 9, go ahead.
And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth.
On which the woman sits. So where she sits represents the Gentile dynasty. From Babylon to Rome is 7 head. The Vatican is built on 7 hills. So we're going to read this book called The Italian People.